Okay, it was a success. I got them put on without scratching them. So, but I did find out that I am going to have to shim this front radiator support up about 1/8 of an inch because she's hanging a little low because of the gappage in the door. See it? From the top to bottom. So that's about, I'd say about 1/8 of an inch that I need to, basically I'm going to have to pull the grill. And the two radiator support bolts are not completely tightened down. So I'm going to have to, they're tight, but they're not cinched down. So to where they're stop on the deal. So I'm going to put a couple of shims. I have extra washers from taking these things apart. You know, extra parts are extra parts. And I'll stack a couple of extra washers to get it up a little bit more so that it sits right. But, and that's all I did. I just took a towel and wrapped it in there. And same problem on this side, gappage, see? So it's just a matter of raising that up a little bit. And then I'll show you a super uber duper easy trick with some paint sticks and get your gappage right. Okay, so we did have to shim the radiator support up by, what would you say, 1/4 of an inch? Did 1/4 of an inch on both of them?
Yeah.
Now we're going to start. Now to line this all up, we're going to start here on the bottom on the inside and get the line here right first on both sides. And then we'll work with the body here to get it right this way to the bolt here. Then we should be good for height and everything on that. So, okay, so now what I've done on both ends, on the bottom, I put a shim and I lightly tightened her down on both ends down here to get this right. Okay, you can see my fingerprints. All right, so now what I've had to do was I've had to use a jack and some blocks and put a little stroke in it right here to get the gap right. All right, because we've already shimmed that, but it's still just a little bit off. So we're gonna use the jack, and I only had to put like a half of a little, I mean, move it like that far with the jack to get this to where it's coming together pretty good. And just wiggle it around a little bit, get it where I'm happy, and she's pretty even now. I still have to work on that right there because these doors are a little bit, the door's a little bit up, but I mean, the biggest thing is I want this line right, okay? And I want it even with the door here. So, we're just going to continue to play. I had a spacer in there, and I've got a spacer in here for height, but I got 3 on that end to get it out where it needs to be. So we're going to continue to play. I'm going to tighten this one down because that'll be the this way adjustment, because I think I've got it pretty good through here, which is where this one is at right here. So from there, that body line is pretty good. And that's all you're trying to, you're going to have, this is the time consuming part. This is the part you have to play with to get this to line up right. So we're going to lock this in with this bolt. We're going to lock it in this way, and then we're going to play with the other two. And all right, we've got all the pieces in place, hood on, fenders on. And so what I have on the fenders, I have the bottom rocker panel bolt pushed where I want it. I've got this bolt that's in right here spaced out where I want it, so it's good with the doors. The hood gappage is actually sitting here loose pretty good. What I have up here, I have 2 spacers. This is just a paint stick, and it's wrapped about 4 times in tape, and it seems to be just about the right width, all right, to keep both sides in place where you want it for your gappage of your door, of your hood. So, and this fits right in there. So that seems to be just like almost spot on, pretty good. So that's just a piece of a paint stick and wrapped about 4 times with masking tape. That works out pretty good. Again, I got this one done the same way. I got the bottom side that's, I got shimmed out where I wanted it. I got this bolt shimmed out where I want it. So basically, if I need to play with it, if I need to raise it up a little bit to get this gap right, because this is, there's no hood hinges, and this is just sitting here. But I have it latched, okay? So the gappage on the hood itself is pretty good. It could probably come over a 1/16, 1/8 of an inch that way, which to do that, I'll need to loosen the main brace up in here, and so that'll give it a little bit of movement so I can basically get it where I want to. And then we'll make a couple more spacers to get it exactly right where we want it. So that'll end up loosening. The radiator support bolts are still loose. The inner fenders are still loose. The fenders are 90% down at the door. So we're working from the cab forward. So we're going to be loosening this off right here. There's just a couple bolts. And we'll be taking the turn signal buckets out because there's bolts that are inside here that need to be put in place. So what we'll do is we'll just start basically from the back. We'll make sure I've got it where I want it here, but I might need to raise that up just a little bit just to kind of, I don't know, play with it. But now we'll just be working, tightening things from the back to the front with spacers in it to keep it from moving and make sure that as we're going along that it's where we want it. And we'll be doing a little bit on this side and then a little bit on that side and a little bit on this side and a little bit on that side. We'll just be working forward, inner fender bolts, everything until we get to the front. And the last thing we'll be cinching down is going to be the radiator support bolts, the big ones. And then it's a matter of just putting everything on, but then pulling the hood, and we're going to have to do the body work on the hood. We are going to be pulling that hood, and we are going to be slicking that up. I did buy that longboard. She's actually in pretty good shape. As you can tell, she's not bent. So we'll be oiling the hood hinges up heavy. Okay, now I want you to tell you something. Don't freak out when you get to moving these things around and things get scratched up a little bit. They're going to get dinged up in them. There's a lot to it because this isn't the final shoot. This is just the 95% shoot. This is getting all the big things handled, because the final spray will be after everything is on and everything is done, and then it's going to get sprayed and it's going to sit for 3 days and let everything cure, and then it's time to have some fun. So okay, next step is we had to prop the hood up. It's not got no hinges on it, but there's a bolt here on both sides. As you can hear, it's still loose. There's also, you have to loosen all these off, including these and these, all these off, because this piece, this top piece, has to be able to move, because you have bolts that are underneath it here, right below this lip, that have to bolt up. If this is tightened all down, it has a tendency to suck it down like this, so it'll be too low. But you gotta get the bolt in here. So I have bolts loose, and I have bolts on the inside loose, and I have all of these loose, and I have bolts all along. You can see them, like right there, on both sides, just in there loose, because now the fun part starts, because the gappage in the back is pretty good. It's a little bit, I mean, that's just what we're gonna have to live with on this side. And then on the passenger side, the gappage for the door is pretty much spot on, and the alignment of the body line is good. So this is where we're starting. So we're gonna, the inner fenders are still loose. all of the bolts are in, but the inner fenders are loose. So now it's just a matter of starting from the back and moving forward and tighten everything down with the hood in place. And we'll put the hood down, because with the hood down, we'll be able to do basically the inner fenders and the back corners and the outside corners here. All right, underneath. And that'll be enough to lock it down in place where you need it. Including, I have also included, it's a little bit off. I've got, you can see there's movement here for that latch. You could either adjust it up here, or I prefer to adjust it down here. So it's just a matter of letting everything settle where it wants to go. And then once that's all done, everything is locked down, then we'll start working on the body work on that hood. But right now, let's just go through the process of getting all the body panels lined up and everything locked in. Okay, start from the back. Everything is cinched down, but this way, everything is cinched down. The only thing that isn't tightened down right now is the 4 bolts on the inside of each one of the fenders underneath this hood. All tight. Everything connecting up here, down there, up here, down there. Everything is tightened except for this. This is still loose because I'm going to be very careful when I pop this, because I don't want it to move. I want to cinch it down exactly where it is, because it's sitting. Got my little gap tabs. Look at there. Got my little gap tabs. Look at there. All right, so this should move now. And so now I can take the hood off. We're going to put it on the sawhorses and start working on it. But that's how you do it. Now, yeah, I already scratched them up a little bit when I was doing it, but that front end is locked in. Gaps are good. Spacing is all good. I can pull that hood. I can start working on the cab. And I don't have to worry about this. It's all completely done. So it's very simple to do. It takes time. This took me a couple hours of moving around and back and forth. Okay. Majority of everything is back on. Side markers. Grill pieces. I'm going to leave the grill out because I haven't tightened the... I want to drive around a little bit, let it bounce, and just see exactly where it is. I don't want to tighten the core supports until hood's done, hood's back on, and everything it looks like it should be. The battery's done, battery box is in, overflow tank is in. We got gas hooked up. Well, I wonder if my battery is dead or not. All right, she's been sitting for a while. Let's give her a couple of hits. Yeah, I think we're good. And I still did my job right. Oh, the light's still working. There we go. Yep. Happy, happy. Happy, 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 happy. Happy, happy. So if you're still here, like, share, subscribe, smash that button, hit that bell, tell your friends. We are running again. We will be driving this around. It's cold today. And it frosted a little bit, so I'm not driving her today. But that's one step closer. Hood is right there. We're going to do the magic on that. I'll show you how to use. I will do a little video about how to use longboard on that. Make that, stick that out. So have a good day. Because a good day today will be even better than tomorrow. Yeah, that sounded nice. Y'all be good.